What kind of a broadcast do you feel like you're watching right now? Could this be BBC's art documentary? Or maybe it's a National Geography's science special. In my opinion, it feels like I'm watching KBS' long-running masterpiece, Animal Kingdom. We are observing nature deeply and seeing work that looks like it appeared in plant or animal encyclopedia. Also, what do you think of this work? Doesn't it feel like you're looking at an illustration of plants and animals? Today, we'll focus on the works of the Martin Johnson Heade, an American painter reminiscent of a biologist, and John James Audubon, a French-American painter, and take a look at how the same bird is drawn from a different perspective in different perspective corner. Hello, this is Uncle Andy from Let's Art, who explains the difficult art in an easy and fun way. Until now, we have insisted on only existing methods when exploring art. However, on the Let's Art channel, we'll analyze interesting art books that are difficult to obtain and introduce them, so that you can understand the artist and their works from different perspectives, and even put the features of the work into the practice yourself. Today's topic, continuing from last week, is on nature. Last week, nature featured in John Constable rural paintings, and today's story is about Martin Johnson Heade, who depicts the creatures in nature with a focus on animals and plants. American painter Martin Johnson Heade specialized in landscapes, seascapes, and still life during his long career. Born the son of a farmer in rural Bucks County, Pennsylvania, Heade began to paint in his late teens after he received an art training from a neighbor. At age 24, Heade launched a career as a portrait painter and spent the next 15 years traveling around the United States and Europe in search of commissions. He was nearly 40 years old when he began to paint the New England coastline and the salt marshes, subjects whose light and atmosphere would preoccupy him for several years. Heade began painting hummingbirds in 1862. He had long been fascinated by the tiny birds' quivering movements and the jewel-like plumage. The next year, 1863, he journeyed to Brazil on the first of the three expeditions he made to South and Central America. At that time, many artists undertook the similar trips to study, draw, and document the exotic plants and animals of the lush tropical rainforests. Heade was particularly interested in the many types of the hummingbirds in Brazil, so only the ruby-throated species was found in the northeastern United States. In Brazil, he began a series of a small picture called The Gems of Brazil, which depicts the great variety of the hummingbirds in landscape setting. In the 1870s, after his final visit to tropics, he had lived in New York City. There, relying on his memory as well as on the nature study he made during his travels, he began to paint another series of hummingbirds with orchid in the natural habitat. This group of work poetically combines his interest in birds and the landscape. Cotillion orchid and three hummingbirds is a dazzling example of his inventive compositions. His painting offers an intimate glimpse into a corner of nature. Precisely rendered, the flowers and birds seem to come alive. Okay, take a look closely to find three hummingbirds, a Sapo comet, and two Brazilian amethysts. The Cotillion orchid, a bright pinkish-purple flower that is much sought after by orchid collectors and is found in the wild only in Brazil. Imagine you have traveled to this place. What sound might you hear? What might you smell? Describe something that would feel smooth or rough. When a rainstorm comes, where might the birds go? Hummingbirds got their name because their wings vibrate so rapidly that makes a humming sound. Their wings can move up to 200 times per second, and the birds can fly through the air at speed of up to 60 miles per hour. Also, they are the only birds that can fly backward. The smallest of all birds, hummingbirds can weigh as little as 2 grams. That's as light as a penny. Since they have no sense of smell, Hummingbirds find their food by sight. There are approximately 340 different kinds of hummingbirds, and they are often called gems or jewels because of their iridescent feathers. Heade painted hummingbirds from life, unlike some other artists who preferred to use stuffed animals. Imagine how difficult it was to study such glittering, flittering creatures. Okay, let's take another artist and a viewpoint. The French-American ornithologist, naturalist, and a painter, John James Audubon, gave himself a challenge to record all species of birds in North America. Using the observation skills of an artist and a scientist, Audubon traveled widely and made detailed watercolor, pastel, and graphic drawings of nearly 500 types of birds. He vividly depicts each bird in its natural habitat, often showing it in motion, hunting, printing, fighting, or flying, and he portrayed each bird's life size. To make the flamingo, swan, and other large birds fit on the page, he presented them in bent position. Audubon's lifetime of work culminated The Birds of America, an important book that documents all types of birds with 435 hand-colored engravings. Okay, let's give it a try if you are as an Audubon. Look out window. Wander around your yard, or take a walk in your neighborhood or local park. Find a place to sit and quietly observe the world around you. Use a pad paper or a notebook, colored pencils, and a camera to record your observations with the words and the pictures. Study the birds you see and take field notes. Describe the colors and the shapes of their feet, beaks, and feathers. Observe their behaviors. How do they fly, eat, and interact with one another and their surroundings? Note the sounds they make. Imagine how the world looks from a bird's point of view. Write the date and time of day on your field notes. Make a drawing of a bird or take a photograph. What did you learn from this experience? Did you see something you have never noticed before? What else would you like to know? Repeat this activity every day for a week, once a week, or once a month per year. Or whenever you wanted to explore nature and learn about the birds. Now, today we looked at Heade and Audubon, who were not well known but were important painters, and even looked at a methodology of what was special about their paintings. If you liked today's content, please subscribe and like. So bye until next time.